computer here. All right, so let me begin again. We got here. Let's break this down again. Let me take this out. Okay. Yeah, I can record that. Yeah. So this is what I see from, and this spaceman is just a volume profile. And volume profiles, I've explained those, and there's a few other people that have explained volume profile. So you can look that up. But volume profile to me is just basically using this particular indicator to measure volume in the market. So it's like a histogram, like a chart, right? Like mounds. So you see that this here, you look at the how big the bars are, and you see right here, this green. This is where most of the orders were, where the volume was. So this little orange line is called the point of control, which basically is like a midpoint or like a middle point passage, I guess, to see where all the price was. And this is where most of the orders were in today when market opened up at 6 o'clock yesterday. So you see that this is the new single print. It opens up. You can have a on here. You can have what session you want. I only do Asian session because I used to use a strategy called the Asian session, which is the Asia breakout session. I'm sure we all know that is. It's when the price breaks out of Asia. Like if I show you I show you this. I said I have a box here. I can see tell you what it is. Let's see. It's like a breakout session. You know, when you go to here we go. Here's a nice one here. So here's a nice here. It's this little blue box here. This is Asian session. So this is for oil on a 1 hour time frame. So you can see that let's see, terminal, right? Terminal. Right. Yeah, okay. So you can see that when Asian broke out, right? Breaks out either to the upside or downside. So here's one here Monday, right? See this little blue box is Asia. What happened? It broke out, right? And went to the upside. So you got the EMH crosses over here, right? So this would have been once this broke out and this candle here closed, this is 1 hour candle. You can go to the 30-minute candle if you want to. And you go down to the 30-minute candle, you see, well, this is a little breakout session, this little area right here, the little dots. So this is a little Asian session here for Monday. You see it broke out, right? And it kind of would bounce on this. This is a 50 AMA. So you can see that it's closing above the 50 AMA, which is the money line, and it kind of goes up. So you would have taken this trade right in here. You probably would have waited this candle close, and you would have got in this trade like right here probably. You probably would have entered here, right? And you would take it all the way up. So that's like an Asian session to break out. It's like a break, close, and retest. So you always wait for a candle to close, and you go from there. So this little spaceman thing is kind of like that. This little IB with the yellow dots. That's like Asian session in a way, breakout. We call it trap box. So you see the price was in this trap box, right? And they broke out. And you see they broke out, well, you want a green candle. So it broke out here, right? This one's a little breaker, broke out here. And the next candle is here, right? So this is where you would enter the trade if you were just using, if you was using no spaceman, right? No spaceman. And you were using none of these other indicators. Some of the other indicators I pay for, you know, some of them are free, but you can find the free ones out there. So if you're just using this here with no ADD, no ADD, right? No Vold, right? Unless you just did like this, then where would you enter the trade at? You'd wait till this candle would have broke, right? And you would enter right here. So this would have been the straight price action on Nas. If you would have entered the trade like right here someplace, right here. That'd have been a good entry right there because this one broke, this candle right here broke above the EMA. This one right here. So this is your entry candles right here. This is the one you're looking at right there, right? And you would enter right here. That's just basic price action right there, right? It's easy to see. Anyone see that? That one broke. You can see that. It broke above 10,950, right? And then this one here, what? This one here, we tested it. So this would have been entry right here. And then it crossed, and you would roll it up. Because the EMAs are going up. You see this spreading further apart. So once, and this is the 800, I think. So once it crossed the 800, you could have got, this could have been another entry here. So that's basic, that's, you know, using EMA, that's basic. Everyone should know that. But these other indicators I use, this gives me more confluences. So we know that those entries are there, right? So if I come over here and slap the spaceman on here, then that, okay, so I got a couple of confluences that I can see here, right? No, don't really pay attention to this one here. This is one here is a different one I use, hide that. But you see that if I draw a line here, right, which when it broke out 930, you can see it, everything lines up. This started going up, this started going up, this started going up, right? And this here broke out of this yellow box here, right about here. This candle right here broke out of this right here. Where's it at? Right here. This candle right here broke out. This candle right there. This candle here broke out of the yellow box. And they got a retest here, retest, and then it went to the races. This last retest here, of this red candle here, retested these two EMAs here and the top of the box. And then it went up. So this candle, so your entry candle could have been right here. See, right there. That could have been a nice little entry right there. And that would have been 4. What time is it? This is what time is that? So I'm sometimes I wait to see how it's gonna work out. That's 10 o'clock. So the entry candle 10 o'clock. I'm not sure what time I entered the trade in here somewhere. But I was just looking at it, seeing what's going on. So this would have been a nice entry here into Nas. I have 4 confluences here. This is a perfect setup right there. See? As this was forming, this is number 1. So this is number 1 here. Number 1 is the image crossing. You can use the image crossing. Yeah, they're retail and they're late, but they do work. So 1 is EMA crossing, right? That's what I want to see. That's the first thing. I'm looking at 930, but the better if it crosses before that, it's even better. That's over here. Then what's number 2? Number 2 is it breaks out of this little box here. And you could even if you didn't have the spaceman, you could be like, this is this basic brick structure, right? So you can see where's the last structure of this thing. If you had to look at that, where's the support line? Where's the you can come down here and draw a support line right there, right? Where's the support line? This is what 2 o'clock in the morning. So you already have data here already, right? You can put a line right here, right? This is a nice little box, right? Or you can even go quick tighter. This is consolidation right here, right? Would y'all say that? This is consolidation right here. What time is this? This is yesterday. So this has already been done already. So you can have this drawn for 930. See? And that's what Spaceman does. It does this for me. I don't have to mark charts up and all that stuff. I'm past that. It's cool to do that, but I mean you could do that here. It's like that's a level right there, right? Because that's consolidation. You can probably even get it tighter in the trap box right here, right? Right, see? Okay. So you see that broke out, right? So EMA crossing here, right? And then you have a breakout here, right? Where's the breakout? Right in here, I told you. It broke out here and retested. It broke out above the EMAs. So that's number 2. Number 2 is going to be the breakout, right? See? And this happens at least once or twice a week. Breakout a price, right? I call it BCR, or break, close, and retest. Because if you get a break, close, and retest, most likely you're going to get a nice setup. Break, get away from the kind of the close though. Have to be break, close, and retest, or BCR, right? Hold on, I think somebody else is trying to hit me up. I should pick it up. All right, so that's that, right? Okay, so where's that at? That's right here. That's a break, close, retest right here. They right in here, because it broke this box and it retested and went up. So that's number 2. Number 3, I was watching this in slow motion because when you're in the trade looking at this slow motion, you're trying to see what's going on, right? Number 3 is the price opened above EMA for the ADD, right? So you can see here is above, right? Floating above. So that's number 3. So this is why I knew that this was going to be a nice bullish day, because all these things worked out. And the 4, the volt is here, right? It's going up. See how it's going up? Clearly see that this is, the volt only deals with price from 930 to 330 because stocks. Remember, these Nas100 is a tech stock. I don't think people, I didn't realize that at one point, but Nas is a tech stock. It rolls with QQQ or NS, like, and then SPX 50 works with ES. So these are stocks. So you can see that when the stocks are going down or up, you'll see Nas going, because like it's all the tech stocks like IBM and whatnot, that type of Apple, that type of thing. So number four would be here, this Vold, right? The Vold opened up, bullish, right? So that's 4 confluences at the box. So if I drop this space, remember, I'm not even using Spaceman yet. So I put this here, that's my trap box right there. So that's 4 confluences right there. Once I saw these 4 confluences at 10 o'clock, you get into the trade. There, boom, right? And you scalp Nas, that's fine. So I call this like 200 pip and dip, or or 200 pip, whatever you want to call it, doesn't really matter. But for Nas, it's 2 to 1, 200 pips to 100. So 200 pips, because if you want 2 to 1, right? 2 to 1 is 200 pips, right? TP or 100 pips. Now, some people are not going to do that, right? Because their accounts can't take that. So you got to change your mentality. Because remember, Nas is wild. So you have to give Nas room to breathe, or you're gonna be stopped out. You can't do a 10. You can do a tight stop loss, but the more tight stop loss you do with Nas, you're gonna get knocked out. So you have to at least have a 50 or a 75 at least for this. And if you're doing small accounts, just do 0.01. You know what I'm saying? So 0.01, you would have got in this trade right here, or you could have got in here. Either one of these two you could have got in. You could have got in here. This could have been an entry, but this would have been a nice entry at 7:30. But if you wait for 9:30, right? You wait for 9:30, then you're like, okay, well, it's 10 o'clock here. This is a 9:30 entry right here. So that's 10 o'clock. So you got it at 10 o'clock, you'd roll the way up here. You would have stayed in the trade. There's no reason to get out. You want 200 pips, right? This candle here gave you, that's a fibs. Price. So if you got in here, how many pips is that? You got the points. So that's 300 points right there? 40? That should be about, I want to say 119 pips, but if you could continue to go and see how many pips that was during the day, that should be about 3,000 pips, because that's how I read it. One over. So that's 300 pips over here. So you could have got out here, right? This is 2:30 in the afternoon, you're done. And plus it broke the 800. So when it broke the 800, this is another entry here. See, right here, kind of right there. You could have took a little bit more pips right there. And then it started to fade out, and then kind of went back up a little bit. Now it's kind of in no man's land. My point is that there's 4 confluences right here. EMAs, you look to see when they cross. You want the EMA to cross before 9:30. It's okay to have them cross around 9:30. And sometimes they might not cross to after 9:30. But the ones I found that cross before 9:30, and then this opens up bullish, the EMAs are above. Everything has to be in the same thing. Sometimes you will have the price open up above and price going the other way. That won't work. That means you're 3 out of 4. You have to have 4 out of 4 for a perfect setup. Sometimes you can have 3 out of 4, but you can use price action. So if I take this trap box off, right? Trap box. I take this trap box off here, right? And take this off here. The Spaceman is like a complete thing. So it gives me my little trap box, right? What they call initial balance. And then it has these other levels here, what they call single prints. Single prints, basically, like what I say is supply and demand on steroids. So I'm only looking for 2 to 1, 200 pips to 100 pips. Now, if I get more than that, then if I get 300 pips, that's 3 to 1. I always keep 100 pip stop loss. If the 100 pip stop loss gets violated, then that means that trade was not meant to be. But When you have this type of setup, your chances of winning this trade is like 80%. When I see this setup, I win 80% of trades. Now, I'm not going to say that they don't always win, because some of them don't always win. Sometimes they, it's price action. Nothing's perfect. So that's a perfect setup going up. See, and here's a perfect setup going down. See, it's just this is the opposite. It's the opposite. Image crossing up or down, price open up above. This is bullish. So now you just switch it up. You see what happens here. So if I come over here and say, well, let me this is the perfect sell, but come on this, right? I come over here. Where's my over there? Put that one there, but so if I come over here, the volt is bullish, it's bearish, right? So over here, what do you have? This is bearish, right? So this volt is bearish, right? This opposite is a little more simple, right? So not only is that bullish, that's bearish, right? You clearly see that dropping down, going down. So 930 candles right here. And what do you notice? Price opened up below, right? Remember over here is above. See that? Above. For here, it's below. So if I go in here and say, if I click this, I'm going to copy this, right? This is below. So I back tested this ever since my homegirl gave me this indicator. She told me about it. So yeah, you can't take credit for that, but yeah, just go from there. Let's see, but I got this T here, right? This here, right? Okay, this and this is below, right? Below. Okay, so that's below here, right? That's this. So I got one, you see it's bearish. Two, that opened up below the EMA. Now I've only played with the EMA of 10. I'm still working on the other EMA, but 10 seemed to be a magic number. So where the EMA's crossing, well, they crossed with before. Remember I was telling you, you want them to cross before 7:30, right? You can clearly see that they cross where? Up here someplace, right? Boom. They cross over here. So this is legit. So if I come over here, where's my EMA thing? I'm gonna come over here, EMA crossover, right? Clone that, right? I go over here. So the EMA is crossing down, right? That's over here. You can clearly see that they're crossing down right there, right? Right here. So that's number 3. So I got 3 confluences all set up for me. Because this happened, like what time this happened? Way before 9:30, which is good, what you want, right? And then what else happened? This little box here, this little box. Again, that's like the little box we had before. The trap box. Remember, if I come over here and run a trap box here, see, that's a little initial balance. If I take the spaceman off, right, you clearly see it's a box, right? It's a consolidation box. That's all that is. That's all that is to me. I mean, it might be some other technical jargon, but it means a trap box. It's consolidation, even though it opened up in Asia. You see, it broke out, right? It broke out of the box, and you didn't really get a retest, but it broke below. It's closing below the EMAs. You can clearly see that. So this would have been an entry right in here. Entry would have been probably right here, right there. Boom to that. So that would have been the entry because it closed out of here, and well, that's the entry you could have got into, and that would have been earlier than 9:30. You see what time that's like London. But you see, as I was telling you before, there was 4 different trades that can happen. And I said that in one of the notes that I had before. There's 4 different situations. You can get New York, you get London to New York, bullish, right? Because London is bullish and it continues. That's a continuation. That's what they call continuation, right? So that's one. This one here is London, right? London to New York, bearish. And that's another continuation, right? That's what this is here. This is a prime example of what this is right here. Because where's London at? And here, what's 2 o'clock at, right? Here, right? And it's going down. You clearly see it, it's down. It's a downtrend. So this 2 o'clock, 2 o'clock, right? And you see it's trending a little bit down, but it's trending below the EMAs, right? We got a little consolidation here, but it's trending below the EMAs. And when 9:30 opens up, it tanks. So that's what that is. London, or the other ones would be London, New York, and the reverses. So you have reversals. And again, the reversals work the same way, right? You have reversals. So you can have a London bullish, right? To New York bearish. That's one. And this is the opposite, right? And then you got London bearish to New York bullish. And you can see that all the time. This example we're looking at here is London, New York trains going down. So if I take this off and bring the spaceman in here, and again, this spaceman is a complete set of indicators. See, and it allows me to see what levels are. Because this really is all about levels, and I wouldn't have gotten this if it wasn't legit. I don't get stuff that's not legit. People have wasted money on indicators. I admit that. We learned, but this is legit. If I had to do it again, I would start with this because I didn't know anything about volume profiles. So now this is legit. So then you see, where's my so I got EMH crossing here, right? And then I got the ADD. Where's the ADD at? That one was the one I had over there. Let's see. Well, you can clearly see the ADD is here, right? And it's opening below the EMA here. You see, and this is below 2,000, so that means the stocks were tanking that time. So I have one. This is one here. This is two here. What would we put that at? I can put it in like this. So you can see what I'm talking about. Put one here. Where's my two here? So price opened below EMA or ADD, right? That's number 3. So here's 1, 2, 3, and then again, I was telling you that it broke out its box here, right? So it broke out of the box way around 1:30 in the morning. That's enough confirmation for me to know that okay, I can go back and look at this. And then when I see these are AMAs here, right? The EMAs I'm using 13, 20, 200. All of them cross at one time, so they all meet up together, and boom, they cross over. You see the EMAs are crossing. They're thin and they break out. So by 9:30, I already know. Well, damn, this is a nice entry right here. Even before I got in here, I would have known that I got one. This thing is already breaking below, right? 9:30. Boom. So I would have got in this trade here. Now, yeah, it kind of rolled back up. That's what it does. That's what Nas does. It's going to consolidate or it's going to retrace. So, but if you were already looking at this trade here, if you did your analysis at 8:30, 9 o'clock, you would have known that once this candle opened up below these EMAs. So I would have entered in here at 9:30. This is one of them entries at 9:30, Bill. I would have jumped in right at 9:30 because of all this other information here. See, if this price action wasn't here, I wouldn't have done that. I would have waited here and then it would have been kind of choppy. And then maybe I would have got into the trade here. You have to wait and see how the price action moves around. Like this is a little drawdown here. You'd have had some drawdown. If you would have got in here and held it, you have some drawdown this way. So that could have been scary if you're in the trade right then at the point. But if you're looking at this price action before, I got a crossover here. And then they kind of touch a little bit. You see candles are closing below these EMAs. As long as the candles are closing below the EMAs, then you're good. And if you wanted to come in here and draw a trend line too, you could have done that too. Because you would have known this here is already done already. It's priced 130. So if I just draw a trend line here, everything's below the 800. Everything's below this 800. I mean 200, 200. So I already know price is tanking. You see, so I already know that already. But if I go over here and look at the if I go over here and look at the other indicators, or not even look at the other indicators, just look at, like I was telling you, QQQ is like the cousin of Nas, right? Because it's, so if I go to Nas on September 29th, 9:30, QQQ at September 29th, 9:30, I'm sure it was tanking. At 9:30, September 29th, See, you don't have to believe me. You can just look at it. Boom. See that? This stock's going down. You can see that clearly. And these are the 40 stocks. They're all red. So that's just another indicator I use to help me. But you don't have to use this indicator here. This is just an extra bonus. You don't have to have that. But this here is golden. So I've added this to my little rules. When you see this setup, that's 2 right there. That's 1, 2 that we have right there, right? Now, sometimes it opens up above and then it goes the other way. See, this would do a nice little stair step, 1, 2, 3, 4. But that's at 9:30. And you see it reversed. Well, where did it reverse at? It reversed right on this, what I call a single print. This is a zone here. So price came right up here and you almost see that it touched 200. See that? It nicked the 200 here. And then it would tank from here. So even if you didn't have a spaceman, and let's say you didn't have EMAs, you just had regular price action, right? What would you have done? Then well, you'd have came in here and draw a line here, right? Where would an FVG be at? How would you draw that? Where would that be at? The support resistance, right? Wherever that's going to be. So I can see a line here, seeing that line up there. I mean, you can go in there and do that with support resistance. You can draw that. But what I like about this indicator here is it hit this level right here. You see, I'm gonna put my EMAs on there real quick. It's smacked it right at that level right here. Look at this one here. Look at how this wicked right in here. So price opened up at 6 p.m., excuse me, went all the way up here. And this long candle hit right here. So that's a exhaustion candle right here. This is exhaustion candle right here, which tells me that there's a reverse coming. And you saw it started reverse. This is at 9:30 in the morning, right? So here's 9:30 in the morning, which is kind of a fake out. So here price opened up above the EMA. So you're thinking, oh, it should be going up, but it doesn't. So in this case here, you have to use different price action. It's not the same. It's not this setup. This setup is beautiful, right? Because it's below. If the price opens up above the EMA, it should be bullish, right? That's what we want. But it doesn't always work that way. You see. So in this case here, how would I trade this? Because see, this is going up. This is going up, but you don't have it going up over here. See, it's going down. So in this case, you have to. These are not going to be in sync for this. So you have these price action. So when the 9:30 rolled around, then I would have been, okay, let me see what I got here, right? Because the EMAs crossed over after 9:30, 11 o'clock. So 11 o'clock would have been your trade because this closed below, this big candle here closed below during 10:30. So once this candle's closing below, I would have got in here somewhere in half this candle. Because remember, this is 30-minute time frame, so this candle's being formed. And if you still wasn't sure about that, you would have waited till this candle closed and you'd have got in here. And this still is a good trade. You got two 30-minute candles here. This one and this one, right? So you still gonna get some pips. So that's still a good trade, even though you're scalping it. And then you wait to see what it's gonna do. But this is a tricky day. But you could trade it. You just have to use major price action. You just see that this here hit this 200 and it bounced off. You see, and you can see that this resistance up here because it never closed below above 200. So what I've been doing is going through and seeing. Here's another perfect setup. Look at this, another perfect setup. Right? They have these at least once, twice a week. Here's 9:30 right here, right there, right? Boom. So the vol is going down. This opened up below. You can clearly see that these had crossed way below over here someplace the next day. So it's 2 days in a row. See this? So they have 2 perfect opportunities in a row. Look at that. This is going down. This is going, it's like stair steps. This is going down. This is going down. This cross here, 9:30. This cross right at 9:30. You see that? Right at 9:30. You got these crosses right at 9:30. So, and then, okay, you have this little move here to the downside. And they kind of go back up. But all I need is what? 100 pips, 200 pips. If you can get 100 pips on Nas, you can do 100 pip TP to 50 pip stop loss. But if it gets taken out, then that's just how it works. But you have to have a good stop loss, 50 to 75%, 50 to 75 on Nas. But you clearly could have won this trade here. Try me. 1, 2, 3, 4. This would have been done at 11 o'clock. So that to me, that's another winning day. You see, and some of these winning days are, like I said, you don't get them all the time, but you do get them. And that's how I've been looking at Nas, trading Nas, Pacific 930. That's how I've been looking at it. This spaceman profile helps me um, look at zones. That's what it is, zones. And it tells me, okay, well, it gives you an entry or of where it might go. So these little gray boxes here are fingerprints, and these are basically areas of the market that price has not come to yet. So they started at one point, and they have what they call have been violated. So if you take an example like this one here, this is an 11,045 area. So this hasn't been hit yet. Price has not been down here yet, as you see. Okay. So these are what I call spicy levels because these are buy zones. If price comes down, you see it came down to here. It came close, right? And it bounced up. Right. If it comes down here, you see right here, it ended right here. And what happened? It went up. Went up right at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Right. So this gray area here got violated. So it got a little gray box down here. It's a little blue fingerprint. So it came all the way over here and it stopped because price came here. So price went all the way up, came all the way down, stopped here, and then what happened? It tanked from that point on. So today, as I was saying, was a perfect entry right in here. So now you get this little gray box here. This is in the tens, 10, 830. So price ever comes down here, there's buyers waiting down here. There's a little orange point of control here. This is another active level. So if price comes down to here or here, then it's most likely going to bounce back. These are where buyers are. And look where price is now. So if I hit all these drawings, right? Let's hit the drawing real quick. Hide drawings, right? Because where's price at now? It's up here someplace, right? So in my book, this thing is getting ready to reverse because it's way overbought. It's been kind of going up here. So, and you see that there's some price action here, but there's no volume, there's no volatility at 9:30 and at night, Asian session. So we got to wait till 2 o'clock, 2:30 to see what it's going to do. But if I go here and say, well, 9:30, what's going to happen at 9:30? Oh, what's 9:30 way over here someplace, right? Some people ask me, what's not going to do? Well, I don't know. If I look at it right here, but I can tell you that there's a little trap box here. Let me show you what's called initial balance. So it's going to come back in here. See, this is the little yellow dots. So these are initial balance, basically what I call the start of the session here. See, you see it broke out. So if I create a little box here, right, a little box like this, I want price to come back in here in this trap box. And then I'm going to want it to break. So this is what I'm looking for it to do. If I had to look at Nas, it's going to come in here in this box here, right? And then when I wanted to close below this box, I had to see a 30-minute candle close. I want to see it retest this box will come in here. And then you can set up a sell limit if you wanted to in somewhere in here, watch, wait for it. And then once it comes back down, then it should break out and come down here. Come down here someplace. Somewhere down here. I mean, you have FVGs. There's a free FVG one I use. It's called Fair Value Gap Spaceman. This is free. What is that? It's called Fair. Here. There's tons of FEGs you can use. This is what I use. I mean, you can look them up. So this is 30-minute FEG. So if it comes down here, it'll break this FEG. It'll break this one. So it has to break those or retest and whatever else. So I would think, okay, well, now it can come down here possibly. It's possible. We don't know that. You see it selling right now. Just 30-minute time frame. So it's tracing here. So there's a possibility it could go that way, or there's a possibility it could go the other way, keep going. So I'll have to look at higher prices and see what's going on with the things. So if I come over here and if I hide it, right? Well, this is a PLC up here, point of control, that has not been tested yet. You see, price hasn't been up here yet, you see? So when you get a point of control, what they call naked point of control, that hasn't been touched, when it started right here, see? On September 28th, you can see where it started and it went all the way out. So that means that price has not been up there. So you can see that this is a bearish market because price is below this line here, it's 11,480, right? It's below 200. but then it came above 200, right? A little bit. And that's where we are now. So we're in a bullish market right now. Right now, Nas is bullish because it's above 200. But we want this to come down for me to say it's bearish. We want these to turn. So what I need to see is this. These need to turn this way. See that? So they need to turn this way. All these EMAs need to come down, right? This needs to come down. And then you can see bearish action. Once I start seeing bearish action, then I'll know what's going on. That might happen at 2 o'clock in the morning, but I don't trade. I try not to trade Nas at 2 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes I do, but I'm waiting for 9:30 in the morning to see what happens. So I have all this data over here, and as you know, this is a big week. I don't think people they realize that. So you're gonna get some weird stuff going on in the markets because they're setting you up for the okie doke, right? You had the thing at 10 o'clock in the morning. Look at the news. So this news 8:30, 9:30 night for off really, but look at the news. So tomorrow is Jolt's job opening. So this is all set up. FOMC guys talking. This is all set up for NFP. So you had news tomorrow, 10-11, right? You got a red folder, yellow folder. That's important news, right? Wednesday, you got news. You got ADP, non-farm employment change. That's 8:15. That's going to move the market, right? And you got Thursday. You got natural gas shortages. So that's another thing that my Miss Trapbox told me about. That's a whole different oil thing. Another day. And then you got CAD news and UFD news. So you're going to have an opportunity to bank on CAD, and you're going to have an opportunity to bank on the US dollar, specifically CAD. USD CAD is going to move. USD CAD moves every time this here comes. So USD CAD is going to move. I'm telling you, USD CAD is going to move. So if I'm looking at USD CAD here, look what we have on USD CAD. So USD CAD has set itself up for a major move on Friday. So you're going to catch some pips on this, even if you don't trade USD CAD. You're gonna catch some pips on USD CAD. It moves on NFP. You're gonna get a nice movement on the NFP for that. But that's neither here nor there. So that's how I look for these trades here, and then I just continue to back test it. See, this little thing here, just like it just shows me the top 40 stocks how they move. But that's kind of how I trade Nas. Now, before I would just trade it, the regulars of above 80, whatever that type of thing, above 1800, below 1800. But that's still here. You see, this is above 1800, right? And it floated above 1800. And this is strictly a bullish market there. So I just go back and test this out. I keep my 30-minute time frame here. Now, what I've also found out, which I kind of knew, but my buddy told me about the 945 candle. There's a 345 candle, 945 candle. So sometimes I've been trying to look for the 945 candle and see. And what I've been told is that if you have a hammer on the 945, so that 945 candle needs to print. If that 945 candle prints and a hammer, railroad, doji, some type of I want to say reversal candle, something, then there's a possibility that the market's gonna, they call the break truck, it's gonna pay out. And I saw it on I did it with GU last week, and I got a 345 hammer, and all of a sudden blew out 26 pips, and then it just went to whatever it did. So I said, well, let me look for a 945 candle. All right, so this is a 945 candle. It's not really a hammer or anything else, but you can go back and wait for it. So a 945 candle would let you know, oh, well, this market's about to tank or it's about to go up. And I didn't think there was such a thing as a 945 candle, but there is, believe it or not. That's like 945 candle here. This is 945. So it kind of depends on what it is, what you got. So you don't get it all the time, but if you do get it, you got to pay attention to it and see like what's happening. See, this is different here, but I'll just go back and backtest these things and see what I'm looking for in my trades. Specifically, I'm looking at those type of things. And this is a pretty good setup. It's a good setup. If you're trading manually, this is a good setup. I haven't seen anything like, like I said, if it's not all four sets up like this, then you don't have to take it. Or if you do take it, then you got to use price action, and then you have to use market structure. So you got to go a little deeper into that. But what's what we do anyway? You got extra. What's going on? If you just sit back and watch it. So a couple of days I didn't trade. I just sat back and watched it. Like I said, I got to see this. I got to see this in real time. Specifically, if you see Nas consolidating, then you best believe it's going to be a breakout. Has to break out. That's basic price action 101. That's what you want. You want Nas to consolidate, and the longer it consolidates, that's when you should be looking at it more. The smaller, this is trap box right here. So just look at all this consolidation right here. This little initial balance is thin. So if you take the spaceman off, you clearly see, if I take all this junk off, right, all this junk, right, colorful, everything's colorful, right? Take everything off, you just got this. You can clearly see they show you this on 101 Forex. That's consolidation. That's 101. You don't trade that. That's 101 all day, every day. I mean, you can go over here and say, oh, that's even more. That's the consolidation right there. Little candles. That tells me that there's no volatility in the market. But September 19th is Wednesday, which means that there was something leading up, right? And what happened? It tanked right here, right? This is what, 3:30 in the morning, 3:30. So you can clearly see once it broke right here. So if you was on the charts at 3:30, you would have been, okay, I'm right here, boom. And then what happened? This broke right here. So where's your entry? Entry right here, it clears day. If you're looking at the chart at 3:30, at 3:45, you would have got this trade right here. You would enter right here and you're taking it down. And what it does is this is a retest. So this is even more confirmation that, oh, well, that level was tight. Because it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon the next day, right? 9:30 is here. Right. So you can see that there's another level of support right here. So you could have jumped in here 3:30, 3:45 and ran this all the way down to here. Because you see, even if you didn't like use trend lines, it's still the same thing, it's trend line. Right? Now here, and this one breaks trend line, it goes up. So you could have rolled this, and then this is just another confirmation of this line being what I call a juicy spot. Because it came back to retest the line right there. It didn't do anything else but retest that line right there, right? So you'd be waiting 12 o'clock with, for lunch. That's lunchtime. So right here, boom, you would have took this trade down. And how many pips is this? I mean, if you just set up your trade for how many pips that is, I'm gonna say it's 190, 1,097 points. But this little setup here is easy to pass MFF. I mean, you can use robots and those things, but if you just use the pricing like this, you're gonna win these trades. Because you sit and watching it. You sit and watching it. Specifically, if you see consolidation. If you ever see consolidation on Nas, then your mouth should be watery, chopping at the bits to get in at the right point. So you just mark up the chat box and wait for the break. And then the best thing is retest. So break and close retest. So this is a break. You never got a retest. That's the retest over here. Like if you got in here, but never retested the zone here, right? But if this is the entry here, you clearly see that it came back to retest this. This is a classic break and close retest. But if I take this little box off, that's the same as the little initial balance box. See, right there. That one, this one has. See the little box right there? And what happened? It came back to retest the box. So, and this told you, it gave me a level. See, this 11.9, whatever it is. So this little level here told me, hey, you know what? This level here, excess is up here someplace. So the entry is going to be somewhere in this zone here. See? So then I see, okay, well, that's my going to entry at 12 o'clock at the lunch. So I can get into a trade at the lunch. Look at this. Same thing over here, right? This is another trap box. It's thin. What happens is then, so it breaks, it's consolidating big time. This is September 21st. So there's going to be some news going on when Nas act like that. So when you see Nas consolidating like that, it's got to be some news going on. Something has to happen. They're setting up for a big day. It always happens. December 19th. What was the, so if you go back and look at this trades here, right? This is September 20th, right? Look at all the consolidation. And then right, these big moves in the market. See that? Look at all these small little candles. They're all small little bitty baby candles. And then boom, get that big breakout here. This was 21st. I bet you that was news. It always happens. You can go back and back test this. 21st was, look at that, FOMC speaks. See? So the little candles, they're building up to this. So you stay out of the trade, out of the trap box until it breaks out. See, that's what happens. A little, look at all this consolidation. Consolidated. How many days? Look at this. From here all the way, at least a day, right? At least 12 hours. So you get that all the action there. And then all the volatility, all the big boys come out, and then you get small candles, and then what? Consolidates again. This is the same thing over and over and over again. I've noticed that. Look at this here. Look at this. All this little baby consolidation. This is consolidation right here. See? Look at the little consolidation right there, right? You could probably do that there, right? It broke out. I mean, this is ugly market. You wouldn't treat this at all. This is what, at night, Asian session, look at that, nothing there. And it breaks out, retest. And then, okay, we get a breakout, breakout. How many times did retest? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At that point, it's 3 o'clock, none of that's tanking. So if you're patient enough to wait, so there's even a little sell signal here. I don't know where it's coming from. Where's it coming from? Little sell signal there. That little bitty sell signal right there even told you, oh, consolidation right here. Once I know the consolidation happened here, I boxed it up. And it has, you could have gotten trade anywhere in here. You'd have been in drawdown a little bit, it's in and out. And then boom, it tanks. It tanks right at 245. See, that's not even a space, man. That's not even indicators. That's a straight price action. You see? And you're like, okay, what's going on over here? Right? Consolidation. It's kind of choppy. I mean, you could get some nice prices in here, you know, here to here. You could, you know, what's this is 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you know. This would have been a nice little trade here, down to the downside. This is at 9:30 in the morning, right? 9:30. And to be honest with you, this was one of the ones that set up. This is below 1800, right? So this here kind of took a while to form. So it's kind of tricky. This would have been a tricky trade if I had EMAs here. See, it's kind of tricky. But the EMAs are closing below, I'm sorry, price is closing below the EMAs. So this could have been a decent trade here. You'd have a little drawdown here, and then it would have tanked on you, and you have some profit. So if you'd have seen that, that's price action that way. But you would think, okay, well, it's below here, but it didn't pop to here, see? So 1030 could have got in. Or maybe you would have waited to 1030 because you had these other 2 green candles, and you probably would have, you know, your heart would have ran out your chest. But if you see consolidation like this, see, look at this. It's ridiculous. This is all consolidation. This is 8 o'clock. All consolidation right there. See, until it had this big move here. Right, big move right there. This is a right there because the volatility in the market is 9:30 to 11, or 2:30. London is 3 to 4, 3 to 4:30, somewhere up in there. That's where the volatility is at. That's where you want to trade Nas, and you may get some movements in Asia, but that's what I look at. New York and London is the move of the markets. That's just, you know, how it is, in my opinion. So that's kind of what I look for. You know, I look for setups. So I go back and back test this thing. I mean, you can do it in 13, 15, whatever. But this works for US 30 and because it's all stock related. US 30 is a little bit more of a wild child, but there's more stocks involved. So you have to be a little bit more careful with that. It works for SPX. It definitely works for SPX big time. But if you'll get this setup at least once a week. So if you do MFF or you do one of those things, you just need 2 weeks. And you can do that if you're just not using a robot. Now, if you're using a robot, then, you know, you set your robot up and kind of go from there. Some people are passing these challenges with robots. So, you know, I guess it all depends on how you look at it. But that's kind of how I trade this Nas. I look at it that way. You know, I'm not the person to tell you to go get this indicator. I'm far from that. That's just something I use to help me. So whatever is available to help me, That's what I'm gonna use. I'm sure there's other ones out there that you can get, but I've tweaked these indicators so I can see how they work for me. Um, and you know, they works for me. So ever since I started trading with these things, so that's how I look at it. But like I was saying, if you trade with a different volume profile, because volume profile to me is powerful. It's like it's really the way that the market makers trade. You know, because EMAs are retail support and demand retail. And that's why most of the people, you know, if they're not understanding how price moves and whatnot, then they're not going to understand it. And the spaceman also works not so much the ADD and the volt, but it also works on forex pairs. So you can come to a forex pair like gold, and you can see how it works on gold too. See these are levels here. So here's a perfect example of this little industrial balance right here. And these are other EMAs. But you can see all the EMAs are going up. See, gold had that big push today, but gold has a 30-minute FPG here that must get filled. So this here is a box that needs to get filled right here. See, right in here. 30-minute FPGs right in here. See, so that tells me that price is going to come back into this market here. Everything's going to come back down here. So this is where prices are going to retrace into here. So I don't know when, but by the end of the week, you're probably going to see price come back into the 1685 area. But it depends on what you trade. You know, NFP is going to move markets. Nas always moves on NFP, gold, and some of the other pairs. But this is going to be it. If you want to make some serious dough, you need to trade USD CAD on Friday, and you need to be on the right side of the market. So you need to have analysis. So if you jump into the 4-hour time frame, then you take all these other off because these other ones work on small time frames. Now you're dealing with higher time frames. You see, so you don't want to. You want to see what do you think price is going to go on, you know, this day. So it's higher time frames or daily time frame. How do you get ready for this? You know, what do you need to do to get rid of it? You need to go to the higher time frames and see. You see that now you see this USD is bullish, right? CAD. And this DXY is bullish too. It's above 111, right? So as long as if this is climbing, this is climbing, right? And then another thing I use, which my homeboy, my homegirl used to with me Forex. What's it? FFS, what's it called? I can't remember. Forex or something. Forex or Scratch. Is this here? This is a currency meter pro, right? And it says this is legit. So you can come to a chart in the at the beginning of the day, 9:30 or 2:30, and look to see what this says. And what do you see? You see UFD JPY. UFD is at 9. All UFD pairs are bullish. Right? UFD CAD is bullish. You see that, and GU is tanking, right? Because the USD dollars is larger than the GBP, right? So if I go to GU, actually, well, it's still 91. But you see, look at EN. EN is 100%. I bet you any amount of money is bullish. If I look at EN right now, let pull EN up here somewhere and see. Take a look at it. ERNG right here. See, it's getting bullish. You see that? See, it's in a bullish little run here. After tanking all this time. So it's gonna take out, it has to take out some of these FBGs, like this gap here. So it should take out this gap here. You see the EMAs are trying to cross. So it's right now it's currently bullish. And you can see, right? See, I got a signal saying USD CAD is a buy, right? You can clearly see that. If I jumped over here to USD CAD, you can see that it's buy. See, it's pushing up. I had this little zone here, see? Had this little zone, and you see it says a zone. It's a buy zone here. This is down here. So over here was where it reversed over here, went all the way up here. Now it's over here. So you got a bullish piercing, whatever, and you got a little arrow going. So this is a bullish run here. So this could have been a trade that you could have been in. You could have got in earlier, because you've got some confluences. You got this confluence here. USD CAD is above 90, right? Up and down. But you see that the dollar is stronger than the CAD. It was at one point it was at 9. It's 8, 9. So if we were looking at Asian session and we came to this chart at, let's see, Asian 7, 8 o'clock, then you would see, because that's one right there. Okay, so you should be looking at EN, UJ, all USD pairs, USD shift, they're all bullish because USD is up. So that could have been a trade. You could, scalping trade if you wanted to do that. So you can use those type of tools to help. But this spaceman thing also, sometimes you have to come in here and you have to play around with the tick size to get, the little mountains and little valley type of thing. So I try different ones to see where this is 30-minute time frame, so this should be on a daily. So you can get some data. Sometimes you got to play around with these settings to see what you can get. And then see your little lines here. So you're waiting for maybe because each pair is different. So sometimes you have to put multiple zeros on there to see what you got. So you got to play around with them. Once you find a setting that you like, see down, yeah, see down's a little bit better, see? And then I'm looking at where levels are. See, higher highs, lower lows, this lower low down here. So this is the buy here. This is another buy zone here. So you can clearly see that. Okay, where's this is a level here. That's an FEG even here. So this should go up. It's trying to go up. You see, it's a little bit of price that's going up. So you can get some pips. It should go past this line here. We don't know. It might go up here, but you can see that it's definitely trying to go EN, right? 99%. So long as this is 98%, long as the dollar is stronger than NZD, look at that. It's seven times larger. That's a nice trade. If you was in that trade, looking at that, if you came in the markets before, Asian. So when London rolls around 230, because these are going to be different. See, I'm sure by 230, these numbers are going to be different because price moves around. But if the dollar was down here on Sunday. So look at this NZD chef. NU is NU at -100. NU is tanking because look at this 0.4. I might get into a trade on NU. Look at this. I look at NU here, right? Look at this. Tanking, see? Look at that. And they're getting ready to cross. Look at that. Oh, they got a sell signal here. They're getting ready to cross. Let me change this. See, you got something got changed the values here to get a better thing. Each pair is different. So the pairs work differently. Sometimes you got to go up and go down on the pair, see? A little different. But with the volume's here, right? And what was the entry? The entry is going to be right here, right? So you see that there's a little trap box here, right? These little yellow dots, and price broke out. Let me take this off. Some of these other ones you don't really need. I just use them, but you see the little trap box there, right? And you can see this getting ready to go down. If you go down to a lower time frame, 15, you can see that it crossed already. See that? So this is 930. So we could have been in this trade at 930 right here. And this here told us that NU is tanking. The NU's at 94%. It's hovering from 94 to 95, 100%. So all these are red going down. So when I see this, I'm definitely not trading against this. I would never be in a sell for UJ. That would be ludicrous. When that's just losing money. So if I know that UJ is tanking, it's going up. You see it going up, right? Clearly going up, and it's getting ready to break structure. So I have EMAs crossing here. So what time? This has been 8 o'clock. So I got on at 9. So I could have traded up to the top here. But I would envision that this is going to probably go up to here. Probably going to go up to here somewhere, and then reverse. It has to break it had to break above this. It's 145. As long as the dollar is still strength, this DXY, this DXY, as long as this DXY is still going up, then UJ is still going up. So the DXY runs in correlation with all these other USD pairs, you see. You know what I'm saying? Particularly this one here, UJ. They are one, they're like cousins. And use tanking, right? Because the dollar is killing the New Zealand dollar. You can clearly see this. I mean, it's right in the little indicator here. See? Look, NU is 99.6. And look at 0.71. So this is you're eating up pips for this, but NU, that's a sell. In fact, while I'm playing around, I'm gonna get into a sell here. Like that, man. I would never do that anymore. I open up this little Orlando account. Orlando owns 50 to 1. Hugo's way is a little different. They don't allow you to do higher spreads, leverage. So you have to put more money into the account to trade. Does that make sense? You see, my margin is 50 to 1, right? Hugo's way I can go 500 to 1. So you have a little bit more leverage, but sometimes I can burn you depending on what you do. Great order here. Look, this is sell here, right? So I'm gonna sell in you right now because it's tanking. Why wouldn't I want to trade that right now? I'll try that right now. That's a sell, right? Oh, I went long. Oh, I wanted to go sell. There you go. Sometimes you gotta be careful when you do this. I like the platform of it would look better. Look, that's just me. All right. So I'm in a sell for NU right now. Right. Based on what I have here, that's just based on this, right? NU is still tanking. Where's NU? Right here, say 99. So as long as it stays 98%, at least for the next half hour to hour, I should be able to get 20 pips on this thing. It's kind of slow, but we'll see. You know what I'm saying? See where I'm at now. I'm up. Well, I'm down 2 pips. But we'll see how it works out. So I'm gonna let that ride. Trade settings. Let's see. Here, pips. And pips here. Okay. And orders. Okay, here we go. So here's my 2 to 1, right? So I got 24 pip stop loss, and I should go for, if I go for 75, that's 3 to 1, right? 25, right? 25 pip stop loss, more like that. So that's a 3 to 1 ratio, right? So what am I hoping? I'm hoping price will come down here, right? This area down here. See? So that's what I'm hoping for. So I'm in this trade now. One trade. So I'm hoping that it goes down to here. That's 3 to 1. And then once price comes down here, I can move my stop loss into profit. I'm gonna look at that. I'm gonna mark that on 30-minute time frame to see. See, they cross on the 5-minute time frame. They already cross already. See, 15. So we'll see how that goes. And this level came from down here. This level here, this support level here. See, so that's kind of how I did that. So anyway, that's my my little spaceman study hall thing. Anybody got any questions? I think I recorded this, right? Good. All right. Does anybody have any questions? That's my steal for today. Look, I'm already up. See, I'm already up 50%. But this based on here, so I should have got it earlier, right? And use here, 99 should have been. I should have been in you a long time ago, right? Well, I should have entered like a pistol place, right? Look at that, right in here. around 8:15. Really, I should have been entered on here, but I don't, like I said, I don't be checking this. This is to 200, so it might come to 200. I gotta see if it might not come to 200. It had to break below 200, but we'll see how it works out. Gonna go from there. But this is like how I use this little strategy. So hopefully, this helps someone. This is how I'm using the Nas strategy on this here. It's a killer strategy, and it works. It's a fire strategy. This was a killer with here. This was FOMC. And NFP gonna be off the hook on Friday. So that's kind of how I trade that. You took him out. I want to see what was he doing? Was he buying or selling? Let's see. It took him out. You buying or selling? Let's see. Selling. Oh, he's buying. He's buying EU. So if I come over here, let's see. What am I trying? EU. Buying EU. See, selling EU because EU is tanking. That EU is right here. Where's EU at? EU is right here, right? It's 100%. Dollar is twice the twice the size. So 8 divided by 4 is 2, right? So you got to be selling EU, right? EU strictly sells, right? Strictly sells for EU. Okay. 3. This is our time frame. 3 black candles. Let's see. Let me just share this with you real quick. That's what I'm trying to find more information on things like EU. This would lead me to believe that you got to be selling this. There's no way. You know, I mean, I could have got burned on some things too, but you know, that is just, that's tanking. See, there, this is a powerful unit. You can use it to help you trade. If you're trying to trade Forex, helps it out. At least it helps me out. You know, if I can help someone else out or not, you know. But let's see, am I up on this? And you, am I up pips? Ah, look at that. See, you see it's tanking, right? Right here. Boom. This is perfect setup here. Perfect setup. Look at that perfect setup. Image cross right there. This would have been 8:15. I guess you gotta look for the right setups and see what's going on. When I'm doing the challenge, I have the setups. When I'm not doing it, you can do that. But you know, that's how it works out. This point of control here could be could be a take profit here, right? That's pretty good. I'm gonna post this over here. And you, it doesn't see like that, but it's going that way. But how does it be that way though? This is gonna fluctuate the profit and not a profit, I think. So this is like you let that ride. What's in you here? Yeah, it is here. They're consolidating over there. That's the gases. This is buyers over here. So you just got all these different prices going on here. How you flip them. So anyway, that's kind of like what I got for here at this level here. So I think I'm gonna jump off here real quick and see what's going on.
Thank you, John. Very informative tonight. Thank you, John.
You're welcome, sir. Did anybody have any questions or
So where did you is it a free indicator, or do you have to, or do you need to go somewhere to get that currency meter for the MT4?
that is a free indicator. You can go to, I don't know where I got it from. Let me see. I'm probably gonna put it here. Hold on. If you have what do we got here? Here, I have it on my thing. I have it uploaded on here. Currency meter. Let's see. There's a free one. Let's see if I can put it in this chat box here.
Thank you.
Currency meter. Here we go. So let me see if I can put it over here. See. There we go. Okay.
Awesome.
So you can load that into your thing. And it's pretty good. I have currency strength alerts. Now let me see. I can probably get that too. Currency strength. I don't know if currency strength alerts. Currency is here. This is pretty good. It's pretty good. I just have one. It's a blank chart on this thing. And you still tanking 84. See? Let's see. Am I up pips here? I should be a pips on Z, right? You? Nah. You guys gotta wait. It's gonna have to take some time to develop. But like I said, this would have been a nice trade if see candles are upside down. So it's nice. It's red. It's just gotta wait till it's playing around where I got in. But I should have got in here. I should have got in here at 15. That'd have been a nice trade there. See, I would have my 20 pips already. The 20 pip dip. I would have had 20 pips right here. Boom. See.
So I know I missed in the very beginning, but what are you using as your EMAs now? Using EMA and SMA?
I've been testing some EMAs out. These EMAs 13 and 20. I've actually tried 21. Somebody told me 21 was pretty good. 200 is definitely 13 and 21. I've been playing with those a little bit. Actually had played around with 5 and 13. But I tried version 1 to see what's going on, but yeah, see, that was strong, man. That was strong. So long as EU is below 70 and what is 80. See, it's gaining some strength a little bit, that's the tracement. But NU is still 88. He's playing around. Long as it's red or blue, like then I know, okay, like USD CAD still bullish, USDJ still bullish because the USD pairs that way. So 1.6, this is gaining some strength a little bit. That means it's retracing. But the overall bias for NU is down. So I'm just waiting. I'm just going to wait to see what happens.
So also I have a question on your MT4. On another one, you had the currency or a supply index on your other MT4, the other one. Yeah, that one there. Supply or symbol change. That's what I'm looking for here.
Oh, but yeah, this is a template that I put together. Some of these are paid indicators, and some of them are not. But these are just indicators that I've gotten over the years. Some of them I paid for, some of them were free, and I put together my own template to help me where the different.
Yeah, that symbol change is pretty cool because they don't have to go down the bottom. You have to click on it.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
you can just quickly go around. So.
Yeah, so I think that's a free one.
Cool. I'll look around.
But
so I know you said before that indicator vault. You like a lot of his stuff in there, or
who's that?
The vault.
Oh yeah, man, that's it.
Yeah, I like that.
These indicators here are essential. They all help me, man. Essential. When all these line up, like I was telling you right here, today was the perfect day. Today's the perfect day right here. It's stress free. When I saw all of it line up, I was like, time for me to buy.
And then that's what I was trading SPX today, and I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I know what John's thinking. He's thinking this is go all day long. So
You can see that here, see? That, right,
yep.
930, see? The same thing. This is the same thing. This went up, image went up. This the same thing as now. So SPX would have been a beautiful thing to buy, along with
Yep.
US 30 the same way. See, look at US
Actually,
30.
I was in right, I don't know, a little bit before
Look at this.
9:30 just because it bounced off, retested it, and that was my
Right.
go entry. So
You could have been in US 30. See?
not yet.
So
It's
I
coming.
mean,
Not yet.
coming, yeah,
Not
it's
yet.
just coming, yeah. But you could have gotten US 30 right at 930 because it opened up. I mean, it did all of the above here, it's right there. So this is going up, that's going up. EMA's crossed way before over here. They really had a EMA cross like down here someplace. Had one buy zone, second buy zone. And this was then it broke above the 200, kept going up to where it is now. So this was a bullish day on US 30. So US 30 and Nas and SBX were all bullish today.
Mhm.
Monday was a little bit harder. I'm sorry, Sunday was a little bit harder, but today was good. Monday was good.
Well, you kind of saw it setting up yesterday and into the last night. As far as
Yeah.
I was concerned, I was already not trying to be biased, but I was really seeing it in what happened in morning. If it started breaking out and retested, then I was gone. I was gone.
So the stocks were bullish too. See,
Yep.
if you look at any of the stocks today, they all were bullish at 930. See, doesn't matter which one I bring up, they all were bullish. If you do Netflix and FLX, all of them were bullish. See, at 930, they all went bullish today.
And that's a good confluence.
Right. So this is what this does. This down here tells me this. They're all red now because at the end of the day they were starting to tank. But at the day today on Nas, all
They
these
were
were
all green.
green. All were green. This was going up. It was just like, okay.
So you really just use this box, or did you use all these other lines
All
in
these
here?
lines, all these things add up.
Okay.
If
I'm just
I
saying
mean,
that, and the one at
yeah,
the bottom.
this one here, this is like a histogram. But
Oh, okay.
but once I saw that this was up, this is above the EMA here. This is going up. So once these EMAs crossed over here, once this is opened up here, once it's going up here, and these are all green. And if I go down to a lower time frame and see that lower time frame, they're going to tell me that they also are bullish. So, like I said, all these work in tandem together, and then I traded.
So
So
I have a question on that. When you're on that Onada that you're trading on here, I know it's a 1 to 50, but so you need a larger account size, and then you
yes,
use
yes,
larger. Then you
yes,
use larger because it's only 1 to 50. You have to
right,
use a larger lot size too,
right,
right?
yep.
Okay.
And then you have to put more money in there. So, and Hugo's way is different because I go 501.
Mhm.
I think that's the highest you can go, 501. But here, 50 to 1. So I'd have to dump more money into this account in order to, I'm doing 5 lots here. It's 5,000 units, which is 0.05. Yeah, 0.05. Because
Okay.
0.01 gives you nothing
Right.
on this 50 to 1. So my goal with this as a challenge is to build this account from 400 to 1,000. So I'm just using this Odanta to trade forex pairs, and I want to build that up. And on the other side, Hugo's way is different because I can use 501. So I can
Yeah, that's what
trade.
I did with
Yeah.
Hugo's Way. I challenged myself this next couple of weeks. I went and started a new account, Hugo's Way, and put $75 in there, and I wanted to build it to
Yeah.
1,000. So I mean, that's just
You do.
that's just to build, risk management,
Mhm.
discipline, patience.
Yeah.
I can keep going 2,000-3,000 that I have in there, but I need to be patient or not.
That's what you gotta do.
I certainly appreciate it, John.
Yeah. I haven't been zooming a lot. It's hard to zoom. I was zooming like every day, at 9:30, but it's hard to do when you're trying to trade because
Yep.
people want to see how you traded. So
Did you get your power back, obviously?
yeah. Finally, took 2 days, man. The stupid people here in Florida, man. The stupidity takes too damn long. They don't. I mean, some people got hit bad, man. Like some, I don't know if you've seen some of the pictures, but some of the
Yeah,
people down
I
here got
live in
hit bad.
Orlando. I
And
live in
where?
Orlando.
Oh, you do?
Orlando. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Whereabouts?
Over by Universal.
Okay. So you're down.
Yeah.
You're gonna be down with that thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to do this little. I don't know if you
Yep.
heard, but
Yeah.
we're working on this.
I
Little.
was gonna direct message you or whatever, but
Yeah. Feel free to do that, man.
yep.
I think I got enough people here to probably do something before that. I got a few people in Tampa and Orlando. I don't know how many people. What group are you part of? In like Sean's group or Pip's group?
Sean,
Or, oh, okay.
no, I'm just with his. I'm not in his Legends group yet, but I've been around. I've been Epic.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Epic.
I've been
Yeah,
around.
yeah.
I've been trading. I really started messing around with it in December of 2020,
Mm,
and then really didn't really take it fully serious until May of 2021. So,
okay.
so
So you was in Epic and you was in
few
Tradera.
other, I was in a couple others. Should have probably, it's hindsight 2020. I probably should have broke off with FX Legends, but everything works for every reason.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, you got to stay in it and work it out and see where you're
It
gonna
just
be
takes
with it.
time. I heard, your story, all our stories are almost exactly alike.
Yeah, it
You
takes
just gotta
time.
stick with it.
Yeah, you got to stick with it. I think the people that I know want to have this, overnight, and it don't work that way.
It
So,
doesn't. I mean, it's that whole, everyone's seen that express, you get lucky in the beginning and then you have massive losses,
yeah,
just like anything else. I mean, go
yeah,
play golf, first time you're out, you're like killing it. Oh, this is a great, easy game. Then you're like, well, let's tweak it a little bit. And then all hell breaks loose.
right, right. Yeah. No, that's true.
Same thing as this.
Yeah,
Then you
same thing
try
it
to
is.
learn 50 different strategies at once, which doesn't work.
No, I think a lot of the strategies that you would learn would help to a certain extent, but like I said, into the more I got into this, like I said, I was trying to learn about market profiles. I didn't know anything about market profiles. The only thing that I known was the basics, retail indicator, things, support, demand, trend line, everything. The
Yeah.
fibs is good. I mean, that works out well. Fair value gaps are another concept that's good.
Mhm.
But like I
Order
said,
blocks.
yeah, order
That's what I
blocks,
trade.
right?
Yeah.
But this thing that I put together for myself has been very successful for me. So, and like I said, a friend of mine told me about this spaceman indicator, which I guess you can get from. You can go on TradingView and get a volume profile for free. That's cool. But I think for me, it's like, oh, you can do that and these things, but not that type of thing.
There's inside that volume profile, I've looked at it. There's also an area where you can actually start to see the order flow that's going on
Yeah,
behind the scenes. Everyone's,
yeah.
I
So
mean, I don't necessarily want to learn brand new, something new. I want to keep going where I'm going, but that's just another level down the road.
right. So I think when he created this, the way he created it was he would create an indicator and then you had to draw one of this.
Mm,
And then you'd have to draw. It was like a tool. You draw from the high to low, and it would create these bars. But
right.
when he did the complete one, it does everything. So I'm able to go back in time and see. Once it loads, I'm able to go back in time and see where levels are. And again, it's all levels because that's kind of what it boils down to. But I'm just noticing that price is respecting these levels big time. Like this little wick here, right? And this
Well, it's
little up
orders,
level here.
yeah, it's orders. I mean, all that big push out there is orders. How many orders are going into the market right then, right there?
It's amazing. Like here, it comes down to here, and it wicks right there. So there's a lot of things I'm seeing. See, this NU is not playing nice. And this NU tells me that, hey, you know what? You might have got to the trade too late because we gave you 20 pips here. See, I mean,
Mhm.
like Coach Max would say, 20 pip and dip. Well,
Yep.
this is 8 o'clock, so this would have been my 20 pips for here. So the market gave us this, and then then you kind of done. See,
Yep.
a 25 pips right there. So I'm trying to get 75, so that might not work. It depends on how, the volatility right here. That was a 930 candle. That's some volatility. There's some
Oh, so you're
news at
winding down
11:30.
in the the Asia
Yeah,
10 o'clock or
yeah, yeah,
11 o'clock, it kind of
yeah,
dies off, and then
yeah.
so yeah.
But this here, let's see. See, still 83%. So this is climbing. So long as this is what, 6 times more. So long as this is triple to 4 times, I would just hang out this trade. But
Well, that meter on that side over there is really good to look at if you're like wanting to try to trade
right,
Asia.
right.
You wouldn't even trade JYP today, right now at
No,
nighttime.
no.
You know,
Unless you did USD JPY.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. But on the Asian side, no, you wouldn't. You're right. Because but if you look at this at 6 o'clock, see, I will come in here and look at this at 6 o'clock, right before the Asian starts to see where they are. Because if you get something like that ends 100% and it
Hmm.
stays 100% for 2 hours, then that's a nice little buy.
Yep.
You'll get 20 pips quick, you know. So it's trying. There's no volatility here. It's trying, but it's slow. And
But like if you go back and look at if you let's say you trade GJ, you can see it. Both of them are right together, and both of them are red. It's consolidating at the moment.
right, yeah. So I stay away from that.
You don't even need to even mess with it. Keep on move on down the road. I mean,
Yeah, so
they're right
USD,
together.
yeah.
I mean, GJ
Let's
are
see
right
here.
together. So
Yeah, 30. So it's kind of tight. If it's in the low 30s,
I mean,
then
you
I'll
can probably
play with
pick
it.
up a little scalping, but I mean, if you want the big move, I want the
I want
more
to see DJ
volatile
at 100. When you see a pair at 100, above
right now.
90, you're good. Because NZD is just terrible. So anything, it's one to trade NZD is to trade it because it's low on both sides. NZD is up here and down here. So how often do you see NZD when NZD is the main pair is tanking? When it's the pair over here, not the main pair. It's
Weak one,
it's
right?
it's yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? The weak one, right?
Hmm. Yep.
So that's another way to trade that. I use that to trade the forex pairs, but
I like it. It's just another piece of the puzzle. There's so many pieces of the
yeah.
puzzle.
So I use that when I'm using trade the forex pairs. But I'm just trying to you know, like this is it's cool because it gives opportunity to improve on your skills as far as trading and
So I
stuff.
have a question. There's only 4 of us on this, 5 of us on this call. I have a question for you.
Sure.
How do you move? How do you move? Where do you move your? Do you use crypto.com or Cash App, or where do you?
I mean to
I
put money
mean,
into
might be.
Hugo's way.
Yeah. Well, no, and take it out and move it somewhere else. I mean, especially like bigger numbers that you
Well,
carry.
cash Hugo's way does Bitcoin. So
Right.
I have to take the money out of Hugo's way and transfer it to Bitcoin. And then from Bitcoin, it
Yep.
comes into my Cash App. And then once it's in my Cash App and Bitcoin, I convert the
Yeah.
Bitcoin to dollar and then I move it to my bank.
I thought there. I mean, I haven't got to this problem. I just want to try to figure out the problem before. I mean, I move it to Cash App all the time, but that's what I use. But
Well,
I didn't know
Nana
you
doesn't.
need.
Yeah, Nana doesn't. And Nana's straight to your bank. It's regulated.
I
So
not it right exactly.
yeah,
That's what I like. I would like to
yeah,
have that straight to the bank, but I have no problem moving it to Bitcoin and crypto. I'm all into that. But I didn't know if you could move 100 G's or something, or you have to do it and break it up. So
no, you could do it. You're just gonna be paying some taxes on it or set
well,
up
I know. I
the
mean,
thing.
to Cash
But
App,
you can
though.
move it. Yeah, you can do it Cash App, man.
I didn't know you can move that much. I hadn't got there yet, so I
You
just.
can. Yeah, you can move that much.
All right, I didn't know that. Cool.
Once I put it in once it's in a Cash App, once it's in Bitcoin, then it's just a matter of I might move it, not maybe all at once. I might move it in sections.
Break it up. Okay.
Yeah, break it up sometimes.
Well, I
Depending
don't
on how
know.
much it is.
Crypto.com just lately has just been pissing me off. I mean, I understand they're trying it for security, but it's like it's me moving it and I'm moving my own money. My own crypto is, I shouldn't have to wait 24 hours, or
Yeah, but
36 hours.
they have to regulate it
I
in some
understand
kind of
that.
way,
I understand.
which kind of sucks.
I I understand that people got burned or whatever, but it's just at some point it's just like there's some way I should be able to. You should be able to with your own doing it. You should be able to lock in a certain
I totally agree. I totally agree.
You
That's why I
just, I
don't
mean,
like.
that's the whole thing. I mean, you should be able to lock in on something that's yours, you know.
I agree. Yeah, I totally agree with you, brother.
Yep.
It's sad that it don't work that
It won't
way.
go that way. That's
No, and I'm kind of mad with Orlando because they only do 50 to 1. And there's so many different. I mean, they have, see, it's regulated and there's no more rules to it. So I can open up a trade up, but it's just one of those situations where it's like you gotta kind of you know go through hoops and stuff to get things done.
I mean, I like it. I like that you can do it right on Trading View. That's probably a one plus, but it sounds, but also there's other detractors from it. So
Yeah, I was in a trade and I closed it out, and when I went to Orlando, it said it was closed out, but in TradingView it still showed open. So I called Orlando and they said, well, TradingView is a third-party platform. So the trade was closed on Orlando's, but it was still running in TradingView, but it wasn't active. It just was just there. So I noticed that sometimes it has like glitches. So sometimes you got to close it out and reopen it. I mean, that doesn't happen all the time. I still like the idea of trading on Orlando, but if you're gonna be using higher lot sizes like 0.50 and a one lot size, then you're gonna have to dump like 2, 3, 4 grand, 5 grand into the account because you can only do 50 to 1, and you can only open
right,
so many trades because of leverage.
right,
You see my margin over here use margin available, margin used. So I can probably put another trade in, but then you're gonna get to a point where you're gonna get maxed out.
right. And that's where
So
we're all used to the 1 to 500 and
yeah,
our
and Hugo's well, yeah, this 1 to 50 is terrible.
So I was looking at the bull market, the bull something in TradingView, but they're out of Grenada or something, which I don't necessarily have a problem with, but I couldn't find where there were actual accounts. I'm like, not think so.
Hugo's way overseas, and a lot of people don't want to deal with Hugo's way because they they're not regulated, so they allow you to trade the indices directly. You can't trade now. You can trade I just found you can trade Nas up in Canada, but you can't trade it down here. So and it's Orlando, and you trade
Right.
gold in Canada. So there's some things that you can trade and something you can't. So the way they have it set up, it's kind of messed up. And I wish they weren't like that, but
Yeah, I'm on Hugo's way too, and I'm okay with it. I mean, sometimes their spreads or their the way they swing it. I understand it's a business, and I
but
just
it's
have to.
crazy sometimes.
But by now over the years, I'm sure you're used to it too. I just have to allow for that, so and not get too tight on my stop loss or whatever. So
Yeah, I don't. I see what they doing with that. So I look at it as something they have to be wary of, and that's something you have to learn. Different.
especially like if you're gonna hold something through, the 5 o'clock, the 6 o'clock hour,
Right.
and you just got to make sure you have to have enough room because they
Yeah.
can swing, and they've got me a couple times just because just a lesson learned. Just make
Yeah.
sure you have enough room in there for it to breathe a little bit.
Right.
So,
Yeah. You gotta have you can't have a tight. Can't really have a tight stop loss. You have to have a stop loss that's that they say you need to breathe, because you don't have it to breathe, then you get knocked out. So I have to tell people all the time, I don't use tight stop losses when it comes to Nas. I use 100 pip
yeah,
stop loss. Because I know it's gonna turn around at some point, and that doesn't turn around all the time. But but then at that point, I should know what side of the market I'm on, and if I know what type of the market I'm on, then I should be able to see what's going on.
so do you do a trailing stop loss typically, or
Yeah,
you
whenever I'm in profit, I move it to break even, and then when I when it starts going to profit, then I start moving it into to the trail stop.
do you have do you use do you have a set schedule, or it's just what you think looks good at the moment on price action?
Once I go into profit,
Mhm.
like once I'm in profit, 200 pips, 100 pips, 200
Then
pips, that's when I start moving it.
okay, I see.
Not 50,
I know
because
I have like
it go by quick.
on Forex pairs, I have a certain, pip size that our pips I'm looking for. And then that's when I move it because the pullback or the retracement, I've been knocked out so many times. Just how many times you're gonna beat your head against the wall?
Yeah. Well, what I try to do is it has to go 100 pips into the green, and then I start looking at it. And then once it's up 200 pips, once I know it's moving, then I move it to break even. And then when I'm
Mhm.
at 200 pips, I move my stop loss into 200 pips. So I get my 200 pips, so I have that done, and then I let it ride. And if it comes back
You still get your
stop
200
me at
pips, so
200,
you're good.
exactly.
Yeah,
And
that
then I
makes
just
sense.
kind of do it that way.
So one other question, I have a question there. That easy wolf wave, can I ask what that is?
That is something that I got, and it works on some pairs. Where is an example? This one's up. I'm finding that it's not as fluid as I would like. It works on certain pairs on certain time frames, like here. See this here? It's like a harmonic type of thing.
Yeah, that's what I
Where
thought. I thought that's what it was. Yeah.
so when it comes to the corners, you can kind of get into a trade. So like this one here would have been a nice little trade here. Or they got in here. So it does work. You know, if it ever like here, you're thinking, okay, you're trying to sell here, right? So this would have been a nice little sell here for this little candle right there, right in that area on the 1 day time frame. So it works kind of better on the higher time frames whenever you get that pattern. So you know, I've been testing it out, and you don't get it all the time on certain ones. They do have there's one that you can buy where it's have a chart and they tell you where it is, but I didn't want to pay extra for it.
Right.
So
Well,
I
like
just did
same as
that.
that, that harmonic one or whatever. Some I back tested or front tested it, and it's not. I mean, nothing's guaranteed, but
No. I mean,
it
it works. Like
it works. It shows you a different way of thinking, but
like if I ever see a pair, like here's a pair here. See, had the little thing there, and it had a little arrow here. So it's a little scalp here. So this
Mhm.
is a 30-minute time frame. So I would have gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 candles. That's what
Right.
210 minutes. So it's a 3 hours. So I had a 3 hour trade in gold. I can't be complain that. If I see this here on that level, then yes. So that would have been a nice little trade. Sometimes it
Yeah.
comes out, sometimes it doesn't. So
It's
I
all
just
that.
keep it in the background to see, if it,
It's all
if
that
I,
pattern.
yeah,
If it doesn't
pattern,
show
yeah,
up the harmonic pattern, then I'm not drawing it out anymore. I'm done playing. I'm done doing that.
yeah. But that's just one other thing I use. Like I said, I am indicator nerd, so I like to try different indicators. And if they're free or they're cheap, that $1,000, but if they're like 20.
I'm sure you know this, but I just learned this over the weekend on an indicator. You can click on that little notepad next to it on the indicator thing, and it'll show you what it looks like without having to put it on your sheet.
Oh yeah.
And so then it gives you a whole bunch of information. So if you go like to the indicator on TradingView, your indicators, like you're gonna pick a new one, and then go to any one of yours that you have. It has the blue name to it. See that
Like
little
this. Yeah.
notepad?
Oh, that's that. Oh, interesting.
And see it pops up and it shows you what it looks like.
Yeah. I didn't even know that.
I just found it out over the weekend.
Oh, these things that they say. Let's see. Yeah, see. Okay, yeah, it shows a little.
And so I mean, if it's something I'm looking for, I like. Then if you scroll down a little bit, it tells you more about it and how it works, and then if they have a website they can go more in depth. So.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, like this would have been a nice little trade here. If it came down here, then this would have been okay. It's a buy here, so not really. Would have been a nice little buy in here. But like I said, if I see it works on the higher time frames mostly, so that's what I've been noticing.
Yeah, that's what I use that indicator. And sorry, I noticed that over the weekend. I'm like, then I just go through a whole bunch if I'm looking for a certain one or I'm looking for a certain thing. instead of putting it on my chart, and open it up. It's just quicker. I can move through a whole bunch of
Yeah.
indicators quickly. So
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I definitely have to. This, I guess, once the guy gave me, because there was a paid one, so once he gave me the, I guess the easier ones, the free ones, you can kind of do it. Some of these other ones, like invite script only, if these here show you, yeah, and some of them are pretty good. You know,
the only ones that don't show up is the ones you get like under like financial, technical. The ones that are trading view, they're not. They don't have the little blue. Someone you and I are made one. That's what that
Yeah.
is. So
this one I might need to put in here. Yeah, this is one I need to have. I forgot about this one. This one here is the one I need to have here. Yeah, I forgot about that. Two of them, yeah, let's see. I forgot about that. Yeah, see these over here. Forgot about that. Those are, and see, these are different. Where is it at here?
it's like pivot points.
Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, in a way, I think there's a value. VAL is a volume. I can't remember what that stands for, but they're like kind of like pivot points in a way, and they could be levels too. So, but I mean, all these things work together as one. They all.
Well, that's what I mean. I was not using indicators for a while, and now I realize I don't have to, like the F and G one. I don't. If I want to put it on there, I can put it on there and I can take it off. I don't have to actually have them on my chart all the time. So, Sunday open, other things. If I can have an indicator just like you, or an indicator to do something for me, perfect.
Well, I did find out that there's what I call gap strategy. So another thing I learned is that when price gaps up or down, you can trade that. And there's what I call gap rejection, gap support, gap resistance. And I got into that because I said, okay, well, like price always gaps with stocks. So
Right.
look at this here. Ooh, no, this is a nice one here. Look at this. Here's a shape here. So this is a gap here, right?
A big one too.
Right. So it's going to have to fill it at some point in time. So it's going to fill this gap at some point in time. It may not be today or tomorrow, but it's going to fill it up some point in time.
So is the gap like F and G, or is it
like a level?
I thought a gap was no orders in there.
Well, to me, it's like a level. It's like
Okay.
Prices move behind the scenes. So look at this one here. This one here got filled. See this one here.
Yep, right there. Here. Hold it right back into it.
Right. So it went back into it, and then it went up. See. So if I was to make this here, that's a level. You can trade this. See, look at that.
There's another.
So you can come up here and do this here, and see. Okay, well that's the gap right there. So it filled it here, right? And went up, and it came back in the zone. It got down, and it came back to retest it right here.
Twice. Yeah.
That's a double top and a tanked.
Double top, right?
So I mean, if you were trading Tesla, you could have got all that. See?
That's what I love about learning how to do it all, or learning how to read the charts. Now we can go to stocks, go to anything.
We're the same with oil. So look at this
oil,
gap right here. Look at this gap.
Gas. Here. Oh wow.
It's
coming back at this one.
Right. So this is a gap right here. The gap right here, from here to here. That was Monday. And see, this gap hasn't been filled yet. See?
Just bounced off a little bit, but it went up, and then it's going to come back down at some point.
Right. See, now this. So that's that here. Ain't somewhere but there. So this thing went from here up, and then it's in the gap, but it's got to come back and fill this some kind of way. And that's this today. See, it's going to come and fill its gap sometime today, or it may not. but eventually it will. It's going to come down to 79, and this is a trade. Once it come down to here, it's a trade. And this is 1 hour. This is 30-minute time frame. It should be on trading view also, I think, right? Let's see, 30-minute time frame. It's weekly. Take the candles off. 30 time frame. Right here too. See where it is, right? See that
Yep,
right
there
there?
it broke. Yep.
There it is right there. So if I come in here, I have to change my level here.
Well, that's cool that we can actually. Yeah, I know. I always stayed away from the gaps. Now I understand
And
that
the
you
gaps,
can use them as a
yeah,
level.
gaps are it, man. If you can
I mean, it's
find,
coming back there. I guess now that I
yeah,
think
yeah, it
about
is
it.
gonna come back there. That's a sell. That's if you don't do anything else on the chart, it's gonna hit that level. What is this? 30? Yeah. So once I get the spaceman levels here to show mountains, to those lines. Let's see. Let's see. Lines here. Yeah, it's gonna definitely gonna get back down. So even if I was to say, okay, well, you know what? I might have to do some other levels here. Let's see. I may have to change these levels. I might have to try. Let me try 3. That works.
Even if you were, took all your confluences, all the things you would do to set every other trade, and it starts tanking, then it's at least going there. You don't have to take it all the way through, but it's going there.
That's the level it's gonna take because there's some like 5. Let's see. Yeah, 0.5. There we go. All right. So where's there's a gap that happened. Let me take everything off
So
here.
it's what 81 to 79, 70, yeah,
Here.
79.
So if I draw this gap here, say that's from here to here, that's gonna get filled some kind of way. So I might need to change the color in here. This is a way to trade yellow. Let's try. Let's see. It's orange. No, not that color. White. Okay, I can do that. All right. So it's gonna come back in here some kind of way. So what I'm looking for is price to come in here. It has to fill this gap some kind of way. That's gonna be a trade opportunity somewhere down the road. You see? And even this was a bullish trade here. So it gapped up. I wouldn't even look at this. See, this was
Yep.
Sunday. I wouldn't even look at this on Sunday. See, so when you
Open.
can open up right open and it gaps up, then you know everything else is going okay, everything else went this way. So if you would have been, because you would have had this trade going down from the weekend, it would have been okay, over the weekend it would have been okay here. But at this point, it opened up here, it's gotta fill this gap. So that gap is gonna get filled at some point in time.
Right.
So now we just gotta look for it. Once it enters the gap, and it may bounce off the gap too. That found gap support, gap resistance.
Mhm.
So it may just come over here and bounce off and go this way too. It might go this way. Okay. But we wanted to go in here and fill the gap. Once it fill the gap, that's a trade. That's a trade right there. That's good. Let me put
I
this
mean,
in.
just to trade from where it is down to there, it's a good trade, and then then continue on, or just take your.
Yeah. So to sell here, and have a look on the higher time frames to see in regards to what this is looking at. Hey, this looks like it's gonna start going down.
And retested the order block up there, so
Yeah, up here in the zone up here.
and retested. Yep.
So we tested this up here. Take off this candle color. So we tested this up here, this zone.
Mhm.
It came down, so it should come down here. So this is that gap was a 30-minute gap. Okay.
Right.
So if I look at that, the 30-minute gap, this is 30-minute gap. If I go to the higher time frames to see what I'm looking at, then I see that. So it's possible that it needs to fill this gap here. That's 80. And you can see that's at a kind of a buy zone down here. So that's just something we need to. I can wait for this, and I could probably set an alert here someplace, right? I can try alert here. Not alerts here. You can't set alert on that one, but I can just draw a line here like this. Draw a regular line like this. Maybe put it up here someplace like that, and then draw and put a alert on it and crossing down.
Right.
So once it hits this on array, this is a gap fill or gap bounce. I know what it is because it'd be a trade the other way. See, it could go this way. Once the price comes in here, I need to look at it because it could bounce this way or it could fill the gap.
Yeah, and you could also put alert on that orange line at the top there.
This one,
Yeah, an
yeah,
alert going. If it hits there, then that's
yeah, that's a point of control. So it should, if it hits here, it should bounce down anyway.
Yeah.
And then to come back to the gap. You got on that. Yeah, you got on that. Let's see.
Yes, for me, on my chart, that's what I'm put an alert there. If it comes down there, that means it's going to be 2 or 3 candles down.
First fill. I gotta see how this works. PLC. Point of control fill. Let's see how it works. I've actually been trying to play with some of these ones here. This one here got triggered. See, I have an easy wolf here, EA.
Yep.
That hasn't been activated yet. So what I was going to do is just go down. That was one day I was going to do. I was going to have a Zoom call, and it's called the trading view alert. And we'll just have a gazillion alerts. Just I have like 8 pairs you have, and just set up all the. Because I don't know what this naked PLC field means. It means it was violated. I don't know. So I can come in here and do all the ones for alert here. I got PLC. See on the spaceman. That's PLC. Then that's just that's what is this? That's PLC filled.
So
So I can come
as
naked fingerprints filled.
Point of control,
right?
right?
This one here. And I don't know what these are. See, I haven't played with them. I know what they are, but when they alert, I don't know what they do.
Right. You don't know what they're alerting.
Right, right. So now I go over here. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. So I then come over here and do spaceman. And then I can come over here. And we've done this. We've done this is what's this one? PLC. They can fence not the VH
Value.
field. Yeah, value is
high and value low.
Right. So this is here like that. And then come over here and do the same thing. So this is like, I guess, an example of how you can play around with it. This is the good thing.
Yeah, all those were like in that volume. I was taking a volume class over the weekend, trying to understand volume profile. So
I guess some of these alerts are at different alerts though. Like I guess what's the letter here? I gotta go back and see what the alert is. Where's it at? Okay, that's just a regular alert. Some of these are at certain price points. Okay, that's cool. That's a good one there. So what was we got? I got naked.
And then the one that you have set on the white line, you can set it for every time it hits the bar, so you don't have to go back and reset it. So
yeah, you mean this one?
I mean, it might hit a lot during that time, but it's not gonna,
open ended. You mean?
Yeah, open ended.
You need to have a payment plan, huh? Yeah. Pretty good though. I got the pro plan.
So once November comes and I resubscribe to TradingView, the next week they always offer that, hey, for the next year.
Right.
I'm gonna pick up the right after I do the pro. I'm gonna pick up the other.
That's pro is dope, man. Yeah, that's pro dope. And then you say you're right. I agree with you. That's what I'm gonna do because I was waiting for you must have read my mind. I was waiting for Black Friday because
Black Friday, and then I'm gonna wait 1 week later. Then when they give me an offer,
right,
I can get the rest of the year for nothing.
Right, right. No, they did. That's what they do. They do that.
Yep,
they do that. You're right. See the value.
Well, we're all thinking the same way.
Right. No,
I mean, they offer it.
Oh yeah, they offer it. That's why I got this one. I mean, I'm with you, man. I'm gonna. So here's
But
this
I
here,
always run into that too. I have like too many indicators and too,
but they work, man.
they do.
You know what I'm saying? At least they
It
work.
makes life easy. You don't have to draw all the F and G's, which I don't, you and I both don't need. We don't need we can see them. I just need to turn them on when I want to look at them. I don't need them on my chart all the time. So
No, I have them. I have them there.
if I need them, I'll have them. If I don't,
Yeah.
if I'm looking for, a retracement or entry or exit or something, yeah. But
No, I'm with you. Let's kind of look at it. All right. Well, wow, man. Thanks for that knowledge, man.
you're
Just
welcome.
got
No,
some
thank you for all your
knowledge.
knowledge, man.
Got some knowledge the last hour about this with the indicators. I like that. Yeah. So now I can see what's going on with this. And I can set up. That's one thing I was going to do. I've been lazy. I was going to set up a gazillion indicators for like Nas, all these other pairs. Let's set them all up, and then let's
Mhm.
have them ringing whenever they need to ring. They're like,
Right.
okay, what's going on? Because they do the same thing in MT4. Let's see. And you, am I still? See, he's playing around. See, no volume here.
Yeah, it's just stalling,
Yes.
messing around a little bit.
All right, man. I'm gonna take my stuff out of here.
All right, so I'll hit you up
Yeah, hit me up, man.
privately, and then
Hit me up, man.
so I saw you were at Will's the other night. So I was
Yeah,
like, oh,
yeah,
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 you're over in
yeah,
that area. I see.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I was over there get some power, man. Yeah,
Well, cool, John. Thank you very much.
yeah, man. You got it, brother. I will holler at y'all later.
All right, later, man. Have a good night.
You too.